like you, the Dallas Cowboys just got done watching the game on CBS, which I think was followed by The Equalizer, Queen Latifah in The Equalizer. Of all the people that I would call, if I needed The Equalizer, I wouldn't call Queen Latifah, but what do I know? I would call Joe Burrow, especially after what we just saw here, and the not so fun comp now for the Cowboys, and that is part of the game of watching football, scouting football, judging football, is the comp. Joe Burrow, 348 yards here in his very first crack at the playoffs. Well, second crack at the playoffs, first year in the playoffs, after his rookie season last year, which ended with an injury after being the first overall pick, of course, LSU product. Joe Burrow looked like a playoff-ready quarterback today. He was in command. He made clutch plays when necessary. And then, although they scored 19 points, not a million points, he did throw for 348 yards and then came up big in the clutch. Ryan Tannehill is somebody that does not quite have the same pedigree. No matter where he was drafted now, he's viewed as a quality journeyman now, but was the quarterback on the top seed in the AFC, a team that earned a bye in Tennessee. So we now have actual evidence of these two guys against each other in the playoffs, and that's all that matters, real evidence. Not I'm sure I know, or I think I know, or trust me I know. It's just evidence. It's the results. The Cowboys, when it comes to Dak, think they know. But they also know how this game of comps goes because they play it all the time. And that's why immediately after this Saturday AFC playoff showdown, in which the Bengals' top overall pick, Burrow, outperformed journeyman Tannehill, Dallas rookie leader Micah Parsons takes to Twitter. And he did so late in the game when he said, LOL, I want to talk shit, but I can't. And it happened right after a Tannehill interception. So you draw your own conclusions. And then Burrow makes the clutch throw, sets up Cincinnati's game-winning field goal, which comes after that Tannehill interception, his third of the game. Forget whether or not this one was deflected or that one was a great play. 3 interceptions. This one a deflected killer with 20 seconds left. Micah writes again on Twitter, LOL, I'm just happy as hell to have Dak Prescott as my quarterback, and nobody in the world can tell me otherwise. Now, what in the world would motivate Micah to write that on Twitter? What does Dak Prescott have to do with Ryan Tannehill and Joe Burrow? Except the Cowboys know, and Micah knows, he's smart enough to know, what do they have to do with Dak Prescott? Everything. Because this is how the quarterback is judged. $40 million or not. If you win playoff games, you're Joe Burrow. If you lose playoff games, you're Ryan Tannehill. Now, the Cowboys, obviously inside the building, agree with Micah. I'm happy as hell to have Dak, and nobody can tell me otherwise. From Jerry on down. I'm telling you, and we can argue about it, and you can argue about it. I'm telling you, everybody in that building thinks Dak's the guy. And a lot of it is character and leadership and all the rest. But they believe it, and that's good. They believe that whatever it is that's keeping the Cowboys from true Super Bowl contention, Mike McCarthy says it sure isn't him, but the Cowboys believe it sure isn't Dak. Jerry, talking about his Ben Franklin rule. Ben Franklin would take out a list of positives and a list of negatives when he was trying to make a decision and write them down on a piece of paper. And if the positives outweighed the negatives, then it was a good decision. Well, with Dak, there's no question that the positives outweigh the negatives. But this is a different level argument now. The positives on Ryan Tannehill outweigh the negatives too. The goods outweigh the bads, except Ryan Tannehill isn't helping Tennessee get where it wants to go. Dak was not a premium draft pick. For all his positives, he is 1-3 as a playoff quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, for all his positives, we just watched what happened. That's the reality of it. If, by the way, you're going to judge the Cowboys and the Titans the same, and you're a person who says the Cowboys should fire their coach, move the team, the owner should sell, the quarterback's got to be traded, and the running back's got to be benched, because that's what you're saying about the Cowboys. Well, the same thing just happened to them. The same thing. They did have 1 million sacks in the game. Tennessee did. That's about it. But their star running back didn't run well enough. Their centerpiece quarterback didn't play well enough. Their coach got them only 16 points. And Nashville sucks. So if you judge them the same way you are judging the Cowboys, then Tennessee should fold up the tents. Of course, they won't. We'll try it again next year in Tennessee, just like we tried again next year in Dallas. It's okay to be a believer in Dak. Just like in Tennessee, it's okay to be a believer in Tannehill. It does support the argument, this single game now, and it's just one game, it does support the argument that a superstar quarterback is what you need. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to make it to the top. Let's look at what happens over the course of the weekend. Let's look at what happens in the 4 championship games. If the 4 championship games happen to be, I don't know, well, involving a Josh Allen, involving a Patrick Mahomes, involving a Joe Burrow, involving an Aaron Rodgers, involving a Tom Brady, for instance, and Matthew Stafford, for that matter. Top-notch, blue chip, almost knew it from the start, quarterbacks. That's what's getting it done here. And so in Dallas, as it relates to a comparison, is Dak more like Burrow, and it's just waiting to happen? Or is Dak more like Tannehill, and it's already happening? We can only pretend to know. Jerry has a $40 million a year bet that says he's right. But in the immediate moment, the only way to judge a Super Bowl quarterback is when he goes to a Super Bowl. Burrow, in his second season, is about to get closer than that. And Dak, like Tannehill, fair or not, the only way he's going to get close to a Super Bowl is if he puts his face right up against the screen. Fish out.